Welcome to Call of the Pen. It's been a few weeks since we've been on air a little bit. I was traveling on the East Coast, racing the World Championships. And see, I don't know if I choked or bad luck or I got tired. But man, I was rolling. I was dominating. You were seeing it. You were watching. Semifinals came. I thought I had an easy semi. I thought I was just going to make it. And then it's just this. I guess this is what's great about sports is nothing's ever guaranteed. I snapped the gate, went nowhere, went sideways, hit the guy next to me. Next thing you know, I'm in dead last. And then I think I just couldn't fight through. I was definitely heartbroken, but
yeah, you said it was like worse than a blown save.
It felt like a blown save. It felt like a 3-run. It wasn't even a 1-0 blown save. It was a 3-run blown save where you just feel like it's just go in and get it done and you're out. And then and it's like all hell broke loose and you can't recover. I wasn't ready. I didn't have a plan B in there. That's what happened. I never thought that I wouldn't get out of the gate. You never think of that one.
Yeah, but what could you have done? I mean, if you hit the gate, like you're kind of screwed for the rest of the race now.
Yeah, well, maybe if I was like, okay, if I'm in this position, I'll dive hard in the first turn, but like I didn't know what to do. Next thing I went outside and I was just trying to like make up ground. I just got put in bad spots.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like Clay Holmes cruising. Everything's looking great. Give up a 4 spot after 20 innings.
What, 3-run lead last night?
I think it might have been. I don't know. I just saw you gave up 4. And
yeah, they scored 4.
He had quite the run lead. Going.
You're on 20 scoreless streak. Life's good. You're throwing 98 bowling balls, and that's the life of a contact. I mean, he still gets strikeouts, but that's the life of a contact pitcher.
Right.
Little things can happen fast.
So what would you have done differently going into this world championship race?
I guess I should have asked more guys about maybe the training, because maybe I lost my legs a little bit, and I think there was a quick turnaround after the first elimination round to the quarterfinals, and then in the quarterfinals I hit the gate a little bit, so that means like I was probably a little more upper body drive than leg drive coming out of the gate. But I still ended up taking second. I still ran a good lap, but hadn't hit the gate all week, and all of a sudden I hit the gate, and I was like, dang, I hit the gate.
I saw you lost almost a second in that race.
Yeah. And then semifinals, I think maybe my legs weren't there and I couldn't really drive. Like I said, it was more upper body drive. So I guess I should have learned, asked people how to prepare better. And then I definitely took a little mental break, though. I saw who was in the semis, and I looked at their times. I'd smoked all these guys all day. Like, literally, they had no shot. And I think I just took a mental break instead of staying focused and worry about driving out of the gate.
Yeah. Lost that edge.
Yeah, lost that edge a little bit. Lost that I want to kill you edge. But it is what it is. But it wouldn't have changed my life if I would have won. Just would have been fun.
Just so you guys know, viewers, he sent me the schedule, and I was like, this whole BMX thing is a new concept to me. And I was locked in, eagerly anticipating for him and his son to show up on my TV on YouTube so I could watch them get it done. It was sick. And there was one race where I said, oh, that was soft. He came in second. I was just messing around. But you put this move on the guy on the last turn. It was nasty. You went up high and then cut low on him. And you almost got him at the end. And me being ignorant, I was like, oh man, he got second. Like he's done for the day, not realizing that those were just qualifying laps. It was sick. I loved it.
If that was a main, I knew that guy. Actually, that's one of my better friends in BMX. If I would have known that guy, I probably would have took him out. Or if I didn't know that guy, if it would have been a main event. But I made the move on him, and I was yelling at him and laughing at him down the last straight the whole time.
That's cool. That's the things
knowing that we're already going to qualify, but I'm just letting him know that I can get you right now if I want.
That's awesome. They need to put audio in you guys. At one point there was a little kid, because you're racing and then they go to 8-year-olds and 8-year-old girls, boys, everything, and it's just constant action. But you can see little kids that come in last, their tears are rolling down their face. I'm like, oh man, that's
Knox,
tough.
my son. He didn't. It was the first elimination round. He took last. He had a bad lap, but he he's like out of frustration through the finish line. I'm like, what are you doing? And why are you showing that? Because you took last. He goes, oh, I knew the camera was there. I wanted to let people think that I was mad.
That's awesome. I probably got that on my phone somewhere because I was recording those things, but that's amazing.
Yeah, if you go back and watch, you can see like he comes through on the 8th, his first elimination round. He's like, man, like, bro, you're last by more than 2 seconds.
I almost had him. Is that like when you throw your glove in the dugout? Like, gotta show everyone I'm upset, but really inside,
yeah,
like,
I think everyone's mad. Like,
yeah.
Put the glove over, like you give up a run or a hit, and put the glove over the mouth, and you yell. Like everyone think you're so mad, but in reality, it's payday and no one cares. And then here's what kills me on the Wednesday. Like, I was looking for redemption for what. So 2 days later, I'm thinking I'm going to be more focused. I'm going to save the legs this time. So first round, you're not as aggressive. You're saving legs, but making sure you're getting at least decent score so you don't have to win every lap. And second round, faced the guy that ended up being the world one. Still put in a good lap, got my third, so my low, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to win the next round. So I put in a good lap the third round, I win, but now we're getting momentum. And then they just canceled the whole thing. Boom. Awarded world top 8 world plates to based off your points and times. And then I looked, the guy they gave world 8 to didn't have one faster time than me. That's what, like, how do you just hand out?
How is that possible?
Because he ended up having easy moto, so he had 3 wins, but against easy guys.
Oh, so yeah, I did see that. I was wondering about that.
So they just literally just awarded world champion off 3 garbage laps, and it was like participation trophies. It's crazy. For all the amount of money these people spend to get there, they just basically said, we don't give a crap about amateurs. We don't care who wins the world plate. We're just going to move on to the next day. That blew my mind.
That's tough. Yeah, especially all those people traveling from some countries like way across the world. Like I was impressed with some of the countries that were competing in it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like a lot of the France and Japan and Australia. Like think about how much money these people for the almost really, really poor countries like Colombia, Brazil. I mean, these guys have probably saved everything they got to get there.
Yep. Now next year you said it's what, Denmark?
And Denmark, and I'm Copenhagen. I'm going. Well, I'm gonna be more prepared this time.
We need to record. We need like a documentary. You gotta get Aiden on board. Preparation, like a Rocky montage, like your flight to Denmark, the whole behind the scenes. You'll be on like Netflix.
You should go with me.
Like, dude, that'd be sick. I've only gone overseas a couple times. Maybe I'll take up. I'll start training over here at Okahili. You can see a giant giraffe riding a BMX bike.
There's a few big guys that ride, but they're a lot thicker than you are. But
exactly, I saw some big boys riding. I'm like, man, there's some serious trunk power in those legs.
Yeah, and these guys are nuts. Like the first moto on Wednesday, this Brazilian guy about killed me. Like killed me. These guys were trying to kill me, and I was like having flashbacks of I've cracked. That's where I broke my ankle on that track. So I was just like, holy crap! This is the first round. These guys are cutthroat. Like I'm like, I gotta like either get away from these guys or really start like turning my game up against them because it was chaos out there.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, that was it, and move on to the life goes on. Sun came up the next day, so I guess it didn't matter.
Yeah, it still hurts, but I get it.
It hurts.
Good job, anyways, for what it's worth. It was fun. Fun to watch.
Yeah, thanks for watching and supporting. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was sick.
Oh, another cool thing is one of the kids I trained won the world title.
Is that right? Oh, that's awesome.
Salty Nuts Fitness is turning it up.
Oh, real quick before we move on, how does the announcer? Do you like boys with the announcer? Like, and here comes Salt round turn 3. I'm like, Salt. That's awesome.
So funny story. When I first came back to BMX, I was racing as a novice because I hadn't raced in 30 years. So novice is like the lowest level of racing. But I was killing these guys. And this guy is just calling me out. Like, no idea who I am, but he's calling me out for sandbagging. Like, through every lap, talking all this crap to me. And then I win this championship thing. And then their host, they're calling out the title, and they're like, the biggest sandbagger of the weekend goes to, and he says my name, and then my dad ends up talking to the guy, and then they figured out who I was. So then he like felt so bad. And he ended up being a huge baseball fan. So then he's a really cool guy. So we talk a lot. And then he follows me on Instagram, whatever. But we talk all the time. So he understands, he gets it. So
that's tight. That's awesome.
He's a cool guy. He's probably I think he's one of the best announcers and the best announcer in BMX. But yeah. It's funny that he says, "Oh, Ken's coming around the corner."
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome, dude.
He's a good dude. I'm gonna have to give him a. So the thing at the World is you trade jerseys with other countries, and this is how life has changed for me. Not one person asked for my jersey. So we're packing our stuff up, and this France guy comes over, a big dude, and he's like, "Hey, can I trade a jersey?" And like everyone stands there, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, you can try mine on." It ends up being too small, so he ends up picking the bigger guy's jersey. So this random, some local BMX rider's jersey got picked over mine. I'm just like, man, that's where life is now.
You should get like MLB sponsorship.
I mean, if MLB ever cared,
yeah, let's go.
Maybe you should be the agent. Once you get that for me, let's go.
There we go. I got like a hand in the pie there. I'll take 10% of your earnings.
All right. So there's zero money in BMX, but I'll give you whatever.
In amateur, I'm sure you don't get any. All right,
if they want to pay for my travel and I'll advertise for them, I'll do that.
Let's go.
So let's go on to baseball.
I got a question submitted to me right before we started this thing about our thoughts on the double bases in college. The SEC implemented the double wide, so you can like go through first base on the foul territory.
Territory?
Yeah, and I mean our girls do it in softball. I think they do that in softball, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind that over the bigger bases at first base, anyways.
Right, and it keeps guys from running in the grass, and you don't get the stupid interference rule.
Exactly, but like then, with a bigger base, there's like a fraction of a second, that you could be, tend to be out because the base is bigger. If you think about it, you don't get that with the base and foul territory if you're running properly down the line.
Yeah. So one, you got to run slightly outside the line, and then, but I think because it's faster to run in the grass. Obviously, that's why everyone probably does it.
Yeah, I'd take that. I'd be more inclined to agree with that if I was in the union or something over the pitch clock. Pitch clock's just, I get it. It's great for the viewers, but man, guys are still dropping like flies. I still think that has something to do with it.
Well, yeah, like I never had like I said before, I never had elbow UCL problems in my career, and I did the pitch clock for 2 weeks, and boom, there it was.
Yep. So yeah, I'm good with the base.
Yeah, anything that stops the guys from getting interference calls and dumb rules and out calls. I mean, how many big moments in a big game? What's the World Series 3 years ago in the Nationals? Trey Turner, they said he ran inside the line.
Yep. Yeah, good memory.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to be on that team, so I'll always remember that.
You're not harboring any bitterness at all.
No.
Still. Let's go to the leaders, or let's go to the league. Really, the something I didn't have on my bingo card this time of year was Gunnar Henderson and Marcell Ozuna. Well, Gunnar Henderson leading all of baseball in home runs, and Ozuna in third. Ozuna's like only 2 years younger, 3 years younger than us. Oh, good question. I'm not sure. I'm not going to pretend like I know.
I'm going to look that up.
He might be.
Well, Gunnar Henderson, I never thought he would. I mean, he's a stud, but I never thought he would lead Major League Baseball in home runs. But that guy's an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's good. But you obviously Judges and Ohtani, Stanton's.
Judge, Soto. I mean, Soto, I think all those guys will come. Let's see, Ozuna signed a slugger. Let's see. It's coming up. I think his contract year is up. I think he has an option.
But also on my bingo card, or not on my bingo, I didn't have on my bingo card on the pitching side, is Ranger Suarez and Seth Lugo dominating this year.
There's an article on MLB about all the slow throwers dominate. There's like 9 guys that average 92 and below that are just absolutely dominating.
Interesting.
And they have
Honestly,
good stuff.
well, actually, I would say the top 5 I wouldn't have had on my bingo card. Shota, Ranger, Javier Assad, Ronaldo Lopez. Like, that's huge for
Ronald
him.
Lopez throws hard.
He's always had good stuff, but he's all over the place.
Yeah, the Braves unlocked something with him.
Yep. It's amazing. These teams year in and year out, Dodgers, Braves, Tampa, Yankees, they know something. Like they have their finger in the right spot. Like they're able to develop with all of these guys that they see potential with.
Well, look at Chris Sale. How are the Red Sox giving Chris Sale? Chris Sale's 7-0 with a 1, 20 scoreless innings in a row.
Well, he couldn't stay healthy in Boston.
I know. He fell off a bike and hurt himself.
Well, if you're that's true. But if you're like a Red Sox GM, right? Are you looking at your training staff and your development guys in development, be like, what have we got here that's not adding up? That Atlanta's got.
I should text Craig Breslow and we should ask him.
Get him on the horn.
Yeah, I mean, he might be scared of us, but
he's too smart for me. He's really smart.
He's really smart. And then you see Diaz lost his closer's job with the Mets for now?
I did not. That's sad, man. WBC got him.
Here's the thing. You missed a full year, knee problems. It's hard. It's hard to miss a year and go back and compete at the highest level. And then they say he, after he did his interview, he sat in his locker and was like crying. I mean, there's many times I thought about crying in the clubhouse, but
yeah, I did it when he took my job in Seattle.
You cried?
No, I didn't cry. They called me in the office and were like, "Look, man, I was hurt. My hip was hurting pretty bad. I took a cortisone shot. Like, we got to go with Edwin." I'm like, I told them, I was like, you'd be stupid not to put that kid in the 9th inning.
Yeah, good teammate.
Unbelievable. Like, put me wherever. Like, I know I'm your closer. I love closing, but that guy's gonna help us win baseball games. So it's just reality.
So here's the question: is do you give closers $100 million contracts?
Well, yeah.
You do?
I would. I mean, you can't predict him blowing out his knee celebrating with Puerto Rico.
No.
Like, had he not done that, I'm fairly certain he'd be having a great year. I mean, like you said, it's a huge adjustment. We had missed all of last year. He probably doesn't feel right. There's an adjustment period with a major injury like that.
Yeah, he's probably a year away from feeling normal.
Yep. So I'm just going to give him benefit of the doubt. Let him get his confidence back up. They're not going to do anything this year anyways. If he starts like getting back on a tear, you got to put him back in that role at the end of the season to give him confidence going into next year. So
you should probably try to trade him. The Mets aren't going to do anything for a long time. Look at another thing. Francisco Lindor is hitting $198, and they did a comparison. That Jimenez kid that the Mets traded for Lindor, the second baseman / shortstop. So they did a comparison since that trade. They had basically have the exact same numbers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
But it cost the Mets 4 players and $300 million.
When he went to the Mets, he just wasn't the same player right from the start.
He's just
like he was just meh. Like, he was good in spurts, but like he wasn't like the dude like he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's.
I wonder what it is though. I wonder if it's like because pitching has gotten so much better, and he's having a hard time adjusting, kind of like Javi Baez, or if just New York is just too overwhelming for like someone of his personality or something. But he's like a outgoing person. It seems like
very outgoing. I don't know. I just think Cleveland, you could sit there and hide, and you play in the AL Central, and now you're in the NL East.
They were good when he was there.
But it's the AL Central.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same animal.
I feel like the wind's always blowing out in Cleveland. It's always weird anyways, but you can sit there and hide and just be Francisco Lindor. Now you're in the Mets, and now you got to be like this. He's always dressed to the nine, and then he's always got a private driver dropping him off, and it's just a whole different life there for him.
Yeah.
And anytime they're they're a terrible team. Anytime they're scoring a run, he's like top step, making sure everyone sees him cheering. It's just like it's kind of eyewash.
Yeah, but Eyewash. I haven't heard that in a while. You kind of want teammates like that, right? Like I want guys to like have my back and everything. Who knows if it's eyewash or not? I don't know the guy or not. I know certain people. I'm not gonna mention names. It's super eyewash, but other guys are genuinely like fired up. But to have that energy for all 162, it's tough. Tough to do.
Yeah, for sure. I think that whole team, like the polar bear, he just does his thing, and when they're like making a comeback, then he's always tossed up. It's always like look at me type of teammates, cheerleaders. I hate that.
Yeah. You weren't that guy, Kent?
Look at me, cheerleaders. No, I was yelling at you in the bullpen.
In the locker room.
Yeah.
That's right.
By the time you came in, or either one, like I was already like chilling in my seat, probably in the hot tub or something.
Not the second year.
No, second year is either you were in or I was in, but
yeah.
I was pulling for you.
So, well, thanks. I appreciate that. Hopefully you're pulling for me. I was on your team, so.
Oh, there are guys that root against your own teammates.
Like who? I've never met anyone that does that.
Oh gosh, there's so many guys that root against like.
Tell me after the fact. Maybe I'm just so naive. I'd get so mad if anyone did that.
I felt like a guy like John Axford. I played with John Axford when he lost his closer role and he wasn't a high leverage guy. He was like secretly rooting against you so he can like get the job back.
That's tough.
Yeah,
I hated that.
Or
even when I lost a job, I would never wish that on someone.
Like I played with Trevor May too, who's so annoying on social media. But and he was a guy that he always wanted to be the guy, and they never wanted him to let him be the guy. And he was just like, if you did bad, he just felt like he was like more happy that you did bad. So maybe he can like step in.
Is he still playing?
No, he retired, and now he just talks crap about the A's and then he's on Foul Territory show now. Super annoying guy. Super annoying.
Big Trevor.
Couldn't be a more overpaid, overrated reliever for someone that did nothing.
No, he's doing it now. He's on Foul Territory.
The A's ownership, like, dude, they gave you $7 million to play for them. Why'd you bash them? You're just bashing them the whole time. They literally gave you a job.
Plays in the fans' hand.
Oh yeah, and Foul Territory show eats it up, and I don't know. We'll move on.
But well, since we were in the East, Philly, Atlanta.
So I told you Philly beats up on the bad teams, and they haven't played a team with a 500 record and over since literally first series of the year, March 31st.
Yeah.
So they're doing their job of beating up the bad teams. Totally. I'm not saying they're not good. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So we'll see what happens when their schedule gets hard. The thing is, they have starting pitching. They got those 3 horses, and the other 4 and 5 guys can fill in, and their bullpen's doing a job.
Right. Yeah, they look good. I mean, in Atlanta, like I'm still not. Obviously, we're not going to count them out because offensively, they were the most feared lineup when I was playing. Probably when you were too, because it was just no holes. And now they're kind of scuffling a little bit. You know, it's just uncharacteristic of them to a point where you're like, soon it's going to turn around. It's just got to.
Yeah, they scored 53 runs less than the Phillies, and they've given up less runs than the Phillies. So at some point, it's got to turn around. Acuna is not going to have just 3 homers all year and hit 250, and Matt Olson's not going to just hit 250 with 6 homers. So at some point, when those guys start turning it up, that's the thing. When guys get on base, and it was the bottom of the order would get on base, and then those guys would come up. That's when everything would get really hard.
Yep. They put the pressure on you.
Yeah.
By the way, honorable mention, Jesse Chavez. I saw it today. He's sitting on a 2 ERA at 40 years old. We got to get him on the podcast. I'm gonna see if I still have his number, so I'm gonna text him.
There's something with the Braves that unlocks him. Just sinker cutter. He goes anywhere else, he's terrible, absolutely terrible. But something with the Braves, they figured it out. And
well, maybe he can give us he's drinking the Michael Jordan secret sauce.
It's that Corona that he has after each outing, and never fails. The guy would be iced up with a Corona in his hand after each outing.
That is true. Maybe that's the recovery potion.
And he's got so many Jordans. He's not even sponsored by Jordan, but he's got so many Jordan cleats. It's ridiculous.
Only Jordan. Yep. All right. Central. NL Central. Milwaukee,
Here comes the Cardinals, just like we talked to Didi. We taught him how to manage the bullpen, and now here they come.
They're still struggling offensively, but they're doing something right. They've bumped up a couple of spots in the team batting average, but it was looking pretty grim. Let's see, they're 25th now in team batting average. They jumped up a few spots. So yeah, they're playing a lot better baseball because pitching side's not bad. And Helsley's having a great year. I mean, what's he have? 14 saves, I think. Oh no, yeah, 14 saves. He's tied for first in saves. So the dude's nasty.
Yeah, I don't know how he ever gives up a hit.
Honorable mention: Kyle Finnegan, my buddy. Third.
Oh, there's another. Well, Finnegan facing against the Phillies the other night. They're in extra innings. Well, first he blows a save, so your honorable mention guy blows a save, gives up a homer, 2 outs.
Gosh, that's like 2 bad outings he's had this year.
And then Davey the genius sends him back out for extra innings. And it's first and third. I think, yes, first and third, 1 out with Harper up. Why are you letting Finnegan face Bryce Harper in extra innings with 1 out with an open base?
You said first and third.
First and third, 1 out.
There's no open base. Oh, open base at second?
There's open base. Righty on deck.
Yeah, but who's the righty? Baum?
Probably Baum. I don't give a crap. It's a righty who can hit a ground ball.
Oh, man. That's tough.
I'm not letting him Finnegan face Bryce Harper, who hits an absolute laser to center to sack fly, and they lose the game. I'll take my shot against Baum to hit a ground ball or punch out again before I let Bryce Harper. All he has to do is hit a sack fly.
Yeah. That's tough. Because Bohm's second in RBIs on the in all of baseball, and I think their best hitter right now.
Don't care. Still taking a chance. If that's me, I'm walking Bryce to face Bohm.
All right. I'm not intentionally walking Bryce. I'm pitching around. I'm going to try to get him to chase.
He did get him a 1-2 count. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Got to be better. Make a better pitch.
Well, Bryce did hit a splitter off the shins, laser to center. I'm still not letting Bryce beat me. Anyways, so go ahead. Back to the Central.
I mean, I'm rattled. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Back to the standings. That's on my phone. So the Central, yeah, Cubs nipping at Milwaukee's heels. Pittsburgh's man, but they got Skeens up. Skeens look really good against the Cubs.
Oh man, I mean they suck, but they got 2 really good starters, 3 really good starters. Really.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like, if I'm Skeens, am I fired up? I'm up in the big leagues, or am I like, man, I'm in an organization where they're not going to put guys around us, and like I'm going to waste my good years.
You're not thinking about that. Are you kidding me?
All right. From a I'm gonna say from a fan standpoint.
If I'm the GM, I'm mad. I'm gonna waste Skeens' good years, but if I'm Skeens, I'm like, because you could always get traded. Look at Garrett Cole. He got traded. He still got $300 million and went to the Astros.
That was poorly asked. After year 1, are you disappointed? You're like, oh shoot, we didn't do anything in the offseason. Like, this is what it's gonna be like from here on out. Like, I'm probably the best pitcher in baseball now.
I don't know the guy. Would you think that way?
No, maybe after year 1 or 2, like I'm hungry. Like, all right, I want to win. This is ridiculous. Like,
yeah, they have talent,
but they don't spend any money.
Reds. You know who also disappointment is the Reds. They suck.
Yeah, offensively, they do. And then you got guys like, what do you got on this? I know you're old school. This is going to be a bad question, but dudes, got a guy hitting a $197, pimps a homer in like a non-crucial situation. Like why? Like why? And it was like, oh, he's going to do him. I'm like, it just looks stupid. Like you're down a bunch of runs. You're hitting $197. How about you get to earn that right but not many are going to agree with me nowadays.
Why? Who pimped a home run hitting a $197?
I don't remember his name. I just saw it in a highlight. I'm like, I looked at it happened to be at Dodger. I think it was at Dodger Stadium, or maybe he was at home. I saw the batting average on the board. I'm like, dude, it's like a $197. And it was Dodger Stadium, and leaned on a fastball, and just like dropped the bat, leaned on it, and was like, they showed us like how good of a pimp job it was. I'm like, first of all, who even is this guy? Second of all, like, why? I don't know. I'm all for pimp jobs if it's like I'm firing up the boys, like when Tim Anderson did all that stuff where he like threw the bat to the dugout, it was like, let's go. Like I was all right with that. And then they drilled him the next at bat. And that's
Yeah.
when this whole thing started. I'm like, I was okay with that one. But like, I don't know, man. I'm just not into this self promotion when you're a 150 hitter.
Yeah,
Hitting a homer.
I don't. If I ever gave up a homer to a crappy hitter, one, I was already mad, but especially if he pimped it was even worse.
I gotta send you the video.
I gave up a game-winning homer, 2014, I think. Brandon Phillips, and he did like this. Came back. He did this money thing. I never forgot that. But
he was good though.
Yeah, it was a big homer. Like, good for him.
Yeah.
But like, I never forgot that.
It was like Salvador Perez. He took me deep, and he actually walked me off. The next game I pitched, of course. He took me deep, but I still got to save that next game. And he's staring at me running around the bases. I was like, okay, like, yeah, like I have no idea why. Maybe because when guys hit homers, I look at their reaction to see if they got it or not, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And my wife actually started like, why was he staring at you running around the bases? I was like, I don't know. So I was like, all right, but now someone's gonna have to pay. So I punched him out. I pitched, of course, the next day, 3 days in a row, and got him finally. But
did you stare at him or did you look down like a baby giraffe?
No, the only person I really ever stared at was Yachty. Well, he owned me, and I knew it. And I think it was 2019, and oh man, like he's just all over my stuff. But it was always a battle. Like I loved it. I look forward to it. I love the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, he was a big battle.
But he I threw him a fastball in, jammed him, and I went at him again, and he turned on it for a single and kind of gave me a glare down the line. I was like, all right. So next time I shattered his bat, and it was like a slow roller. And I watched him run down the first baseline. Then he touched first and looked at me, and I just gave him a little head nod, and that was it.
That's good. That's good old school. So these days, they would have stared at each other, they would, why are you staring at me? What are you looking at?
No, he's awesome. I love that guy. So I wasn't mad at him. I was like, good challenge.
I stared him down once, same thing, because it was like a battle. He singled me, and then the next day it was like a big long battle, and I finally punched him out.
Mm-hmm.
I would give him a little stare because I always threw in on him, and he didn't like it, so he always stared down.
That's why.
Back at me.
Yeah, he knows I was gonna run it in there, and he turned on it. He's a
smart player. He always stared. So finally, I punched him out. I had to give him a little stare. He would totally kill me. But.
I gave Hanley Ramirez a stare one time in the WBC. I struck him out on 3 pitches. It was the ending. It was the 8th inning, 1-run game, electric atmosphere. But I stared at him. They're like, "Oh, dude, did you stare him down? That's not like you." I was like, "Yeah, that's because my rookie year used to steal my cheese quesadillas pregame. He just pick it off my plate, bite it, and put it down, and just walk away." And I hated it. No way. He's got to pay for my quesadillas.
First of all,
before the PB&Js,
for doing that. What a jerk for doing that.
So he was cool though. Like when they actually it was pre-game, he came over and gave me a dap and a hug and anything like that. But I was like, I don't remember you eat my quesadillas pre-game. Like you're gonna wear it.
At least it wasn't your PB&J. No one touched that PB&J.
No, can't do that. I had to mix it up with a quesadilla that day, and he would just take it and eat it. Chicken and cheese quesadilla.
So let's move on to AL Central. Something I saw on TV the other day. Duran, the closer for the Twins, throws 1 billion miles an hour, gives up a game-winning homer off a curveball, and then he goes into the media and says, I was under the impression that guy wasn't good on fastballs, but I wasn't allowed to throw it. I'm just do what I was told. I'm just an employee here. And it's like...
I miss that.
Yeah.
Wow. So they didn't want him. They dictate everything they want him to throw.
They basically dictate. You can't shake, can't do nothing. You have to do exactly what they say. That's crazy. And the guy throws 103 miles an hour sinkers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if is that what the game is at these days? I need a pitcher on here that can tell us that.
Yeah. In that organization, they are super control.
Maybe that's why they traded me.
They lost to Summer Sausage. Now they're struggling again.
They lost Summer Sausage, like literally.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying it's just not working. Like they're 2-8 and they've lost 7 straight. So I'm letting the big dog eat. I mean, in the 9th inning, like that's just insane to me.
Well,
If
it's
you
insane
if
that
you're
he
a
said it.
slappy like me throwing 88 miles an hour, yeah, like okay, I'll pitch more to a scouting report, but not him.
Yeah, what's the lefty gonna do? Hit a base hit the left? Like that's the best he's gonna do against that.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So that guy's throwing 10% less fastballs this year. Last year he was throwing 44% fastballs. Now he's throwing 34. So basically he's a third, and third with a split curve and fastball.
Yeah. So how many splitties is he throwing? Because that thing's insane.
30%.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah. It's
Huh.
a third, and a third.
Good point. I missed that. I was looking up his. I was trying to find how many saves he has. I'm pretty sure he's tied for first overall.
No, he started off the year on the IL. He's only got like 9 or 10 games.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Clase. Yeah, Duran. Yeah.
Duran.
Yeah.
Throws
No,
a billion
yeah.
miles an hour.
He's awesome. He's nasty. Yeah.
Why is that guy losing the game on a curveball to a lefty?
That's stupid.
Yeah, I just can't believe that's where the game's at. They're just going to tell you have to throw this. That's probably why I definitely don't have a job, because I would never. I don't even know if I attended the scouting meetings.
You were that good. How come I can't find it?
No, I just don't want to go to. I remember in Philly, we had Coonrod throwing 98-mile-an-hour sinkers, and we're shifting the pole, and we lost a game. We lost a few games in a row with Coonrod out there. The guys hit base hits to right through that right side hole. So in the scouting meeting, we're like, why? We brought it up. I like argued, why are you? This guy's throwing 98-mile-an-hour sinkers against little righties that have no shot of pulling. Why would you shift the second baseman over? And it was like a full-on argument. It just made no sense to me.
Yep. Because the computer says so.
The computer says so. The swing path and all this. If this guy wants to hit a rocket up the middle, I deserve to lose the game. But I definitely don't deserve to lose the game if I give up a ground ball to the right side.
Anyways,
So,
all right.
The West is over. The Dodgers, that thing's over with. They're already up 8 games.
Yeah, they're good. But before we get off, let's talk about this AL Central and AL West, because the AL East is going to be between two teams, right? Yankees and Baltimore. Both of them pitch lights out. They can hit, especially Baltimore. It's going to be between them two, so we'll go over them next time. But really, AL West, man, Seattle.
Seattle has the better pitching in that division.
Yep. Their bats have always been questionable, though.
Yeah. They're very streaky bats. They get a lot of hot and cold. There's nothing consistent. But the Astros, here come the Astros. And now they're starting to figure out their bullpen. That's really what their biggest problem was.
Mm-hmm.
I think you don't let but the Rangers are just treading water until they get healthy. They're gonna, at some point, they might get DeGrom and Scherzer, but they just keep getting little injuries here and there. That's gonna come down to the end. No one's gonna run away with that one.
No. Seattle's had this formula for the last 4-5 years now, where they just do barely enough on offense and they just turn it over to the bullpen to get it done. Kind of like what the Rays used to do. I mean, they're hitting 228 as a team, and their team ERA is 3.51. So obviously they can pitch, but it's always been, our offense gets a lead and they win the close ball games. You know,
you just gotta hope those guys stay healthy.
Differential?
Like they lost that Brash kid who was a big reliever for them.
Right? Yeah, that's a good point. Guess what their run differential is this year?
What?
I'll take a guess.
I'm gonna say they're not positive. I'm gonna say like -30.
Oh no, not that bad. They're +2.
Wow. So you're winning. You're winning. Every game's tight. That's so stressful as a reliever. You're like, oh my gosh, can we just get a blowout?
But it's like year after year. Like, dude, it's crazy. They win. They do. They win the close ball games.
Does the ball not fly in Seattle? Maybe. I guess at nighttime it doesn't.
No, well, back in the day, so prior to 2016, Seattle yielded the least amount of home runs in the big leagues, I'm pretty sure. And then for whatever reason, and when I got there in 16, maybe because I was pitching, we yielded the most. It's like when the baseballs changed to a point where we're like, dude, what is this? But our guys dropped tanks too. I mean, it's home and away teams combined. Like we had a really good lineup. And so it's pretty amazing. So nowadays, I don't really know. They moved the fences in there since I've played there too. So I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
All right. Well, that's our episode for this week. Well, next week you got any questions or topics you want to talk about? Give us a follow, subscribe, and send us some questions. Other than that, we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, dude.